Hello, everyone that's joining. Hi, it's just me today, I'm afraid. I hope that's not going to be a problem for you. I'm just trying to set up another thing so I can read any messages if anyone does send me any messages. The other guy, just in case if you're wondering, he's busy at the moment. So it's just me. You're stuck with me, I'm afraid. I'm just sorting out something now on a computer. Hi, Slippery Ducker. Like I say, it's just me. So you've got me for about an hour. If anyone wants to ask any questions, I will try my very best to answer them. Hello from Australia. So I normally try and avoid being seen only because I've got other things that I do. And as you know, you probably know yourselves, if you're into the paranormal and things, people call you a tinfoil hat person. So I try and keep everything separate. So I hope that doesn't cause any problems. So if anyone's got any questions at all, feel free to ask. You've probably noticed that the Americans have been giving out information on aliens recently, but not many. They sort of 9 pages worth. Thank you for saying good move. Yeah, it's really difficult when you are passionate about the sort of things that I'm passionate about. It's really difficult when you get people saying to you, "Oh, you're a crazy nutter." So I try and keep everything separate. Like I say, if there's any questions at all, paranormal, ghosts, aliens, Bigfoots, you name it, I'll try and answer the questions if I can from my knowledge. And if you looking for the other guy, like I say, he's not here at the moment, so I'm really sorry about that. Not sure what's going on with that. It's supposed to be disclosure. Yeah, the disclosure report didn't really end up being much. I think they're really difficult for them, isn't it? Because they can't just out and out say, yeah, we know about aliens, because obviously then we'll all start going, what about Roswell? You've lied to us. You probably have free energy, and therefore we want it. So they can't come out and out. But what they've done in that 9 pages is pretty much say, we don't know what these ships are or these craft are that are doing these impossible things. We don't believe it's they kind of, they're really saying that it is aliens, even though they say, well, it's not ours, and we don't know whose it is. But obviously there's so many things that these craft can do. And I mean, they're showing footage of 20-year-old or 10-year-old footage that we know they've got a lot more footage than what they're allowed to show. Someone's wrote, still don't understand how you think the pyramids were made. So the limestone the quartz in the limestone produces a frequency. Now, I think that the Anunnaki had these devices that he basically pointed at the block and literally levitated it. 8 other ancient civilizations have said that they've moved things with sound frequencies. So we can do it now. We can put using speakers and stuff, we can generate a sound frequency that holds. All right, it's only a very light object at the moment, but they obviously have more technology than we do. So I actually don't even think the humans were around when the Anunnaki were building the pyramids. I think that the pyramids date back at least 12,000 years, and the humans didn't really join until a lot later. Someone's just wrote, need to get yourself an alien mask. Yeah, sorry, no, I'm not. It's not because it's just because I just don't want people to sort of know what I do and some of the other things that I do. I'm a tinfoil hat person on one side, and I do other things on the other ones. Good morning to everyone that's coming in. Don't forget, if you want any questions answered, I'll try my best. Hopefully I've answered the pyramid one. If you need more information, just let me know. I'll try and cover it a bit more in detail. I'm having to read my own messages today, whereas normally I have the other guy helping me. He'll be back. Knowing him, he'll probably be back online tomorrow. Um, so, is there anything you want to ask me about past life regressions? Someone's asked. I try to explain my dreams. I see a lot of people's situations from histories. Okay, so I'd need probably a tad more information on that. Do you, when you see them, you know, how long have you been seeing them? Is it something that's sort of been from childhood, or is it something that's sort of just recent? Maybe you watched a movie and subconsciously didn't realise. Because that does happen to people with dreams. So, not all dreams are dreams. I mean, sometimes you do have flashbacks from a past life if you've got a spirit with you or soul or whatever you want to call it. Believe it or not, the reason why I keep saying whatever you want to call it is because I know people get upset. If you don't call it a spirit, people get upset. It's like when I was talking about aliens, people say, no, they're demons. It's really difficult. So I'm trying to please everyone all of the time. So you've had these dreams for the last 2 years. Are the dreams repetitive? Are they the same dream over and over, or do you sort of have? Does it expand on what you dream? But is it sort of still within the current? Like it feels like it's coherent. The dreams, or is it just all mixed up and different years or different lives even? Do you think? Sorry, someone's just wrote Amanda Brown. Do you think aliens have different souls to us? No, no. I've listened to people under hypnosis where they've been on a craft and they've said they've seen these, not cages, but for want of a better word, cages. They've seen these cages full of these lights, and the abductee had said to the alien, well, it actually wasn't really abductee, it was more of a contactee because they were being taken to another world. But anyway, and they said, what are they? And they said, they're, can't remember the exact word, it wasn't spirits or something like that, but they were, I can't remember off the top of my head. But anyway, the person said, what are they doing in there? Because they obviously worked out that they're the spirits and souls. And the alien turned around and said, none of your business, pretty much was that effect. So I think the aliens, obviously the little greys probably don't have souls because they're sort of almost like an android type thing. But I do believe others, there was one hypnotized person that said he regressed back to a time that he was a praying mantis, and he was with other praying mantises. So I think they use the same soul as us. Sorry, someone else has wrote. Do you think that it was an ancient civilization, not humans? So I'm just trying to work out what that's referring to. So you think that it was an ancient civilization, not humans? I wonder if that's referring to the pyramids, where he wrote, so you think that it was an ancient civilization that was not humans? Sorry, I'm not sure what that's referring to. Sorry, I don't know if that's to do with the pyramids. If it was to do with the pyramids, I think it was the Anunnaki. I don't think the humans were around at that point. Well, they were around, sorry, forgive me, they were around because the Anunnaki had created them, but I don't think they were helping at that point. There's because everything that the humans have done in Egypt, they've literally wrote on the walls, they've wrote everywhere that you can find, but except for the places that look like they're even older, such as the pyramids and the Sphinx. Um, just sorry, I'm just trying to read the messages now myself. It's hard when you don't have a helper here. Do you have an opinion of the mud flood? I'm not sure what that is. I'm not sure what you're referring to. Sorry, I've not heard that before. Sorry. Surfs as wrote, I talk to my guides, spirit and alien, all the time. And I've been to the in-between. Very interesting. Yeah, I mean, people can talk to the spirit guides, which is basically spirits, entities that and people can talk to aliens. many cases of people talking to aliens via, their dreams or meditation. And that obviously depends which aliens you're talking to. Obviously, the little greys don't really, they're just worker bees. But you've got the Palladians and the Nordics, and there's just so many others, and they're actually generally nice, and they want to help us raise our consciousness. So it's quite easy. Sorry, it's going back to yes to the pyramids. So yes, it wasn't. I don't think humans were involved at all in the pyramids at that point. And I think it was the Anunnakis that built it as a power grid. There's a lot of evidence. There's even chemical, which a lot of people don't know about, but there's chemical traces in the walls of the Great Pyramid. So certainly I think the Great Pyramid was some power device that they set up to help them do what they needed to do, such as possibly power their craft. I mean, if you actually go to the Great Pyramid now with certain electrometers and things like that, which UFO researchers have done, the pyramid is still pushing out power now, even to this point. And some people get dizzy when they're near it, and some people get lightheaded. So I think it is definitely still conducting something. So I'm just going to go back and read some of the questions. Someone's wrote Atlantis. Okay, that's a big one. So really, the only information we really have about Atlantis is from Plato, who got it sort of secondhand from someone that apparently had been to Egypt, who got it from 400 years, I think, prior to that. So yes, I believe there was a previous race. Yes, I believe that there was wars between them and other advanced races. Whether they were alien or not, I don't know. I don't know. I just don't think we know enough about Atlantis, even to where it was supposed to be. Because I mean, it could have just been. I mean, if you read the descriptions, it was sort of a circle within a circle. So it could have been a UFO for all we know. I just don't think there's enough information for me to. I know there's a lot more researchers out there that's done more work on Atlantis, but it wasn't even called Atlantis. There's another name for it that was written down, but we've translated it and ended up calling it Atlantis. So I don't think it's the real name for it. Of course, once we call it Atlantis, then we say it was in the Atlantic Ocean, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's true. It was a different name for it. Sorry, just waffling on there. What is your opinion concerning the claim that aliens are in fact demons? Yeah, I don't see demons. To me, is just a name. Do you know what I mean? It's when I was growing up, people would say, "Oh, Fred West is a demon because he's evil." So I took evil as the word for demon. So I struggle with when people say, are aliens demons? I just see demon as another name for something that people can't grasp, that they feel is an evil entity. Some people, not me, but some people say Bill Gates, for example, is a demon. Is that because he's doing naughty things, or is that because he's do you see what I mean? So with demons, I don't think. Now there are creatures where you go with the gargoyles and things, which go into interdimensional creatures, which I've not even touched on at any point. But so there are creatures that come through that people could call demons because they will suddenly vanish and things like that. But as for aliens being demons, no, I think they're just aliens, and there are interdimensional aliens as well. But I just think we didn't have a name for them at the time, so I think we just called them demons. Sorry, just moving on there. I see a lot of things. This is from Luke. Really difficult to read some of your usernames. Luke Lascandester. I see a lot of things from history. Some people call me by my Iana name. Iana. Some glass lake. Okay, I'm not sure how to answer that one. Sorry. Hi, Crazy Spanos wrote. It's really difficult doing this on your own. Normally at this point I'd have a breather and let the other guy waffle on. In a dream, someone's wrote, in a dream I see some building like the Pantheon. There was a statue by many rocks, types of iron. I mean, if you are, this is the person that was talking about the dreams, and they think they might have had a past life, possibly by the sounds of it. If you think that that's, if you're really adamant that you think you may have had a past life, there are hypnotists that do regressions, proper regressions, not just what you did in your childhood, but they call them. There's a special name for them where they can go back into not just one life but many lives, and in fact some cases it's not necessarily a past life. You could actually have a future life that's because in the spirit world or in the other side, time is different to what we see here, so you could have actually, I'm not saying that one, talking about the Pantheon is probably an older life, but people have come through and said that they've had a future life and described it. Just reading on there. Given all the images of Bigfoot are not clear, is it possible they're just blurry creatures? Yeah, there's an old saying which I like to. It's about UFOs really, but you could use it for the Bigfoot. But the UFOs ones is if the picture is too blurry for a UFO, then it's fake. But if it's too clear, then it's CGI. So you can't win. I mean, I've seen a few videos now with Bigfoot, and there was one which I now can't find. I wish I started recording these things off of YouTube, because you just don't realise how many get taken down. But I saw a video of two Bigfoots. It was someone parked their car near a forest, in a car park, and they had a dash cam on. They were just messing around on their phone. They didn't even look up. But the dash cam caught two Bigfoots. I don't know if anyone's seen this one. And one was slightly smaller than the other. They were huge. They were big. You could tell that. And one was carrying a massive deer under his arm, and the other one was carrying a smaller deer under its arm, and they were literally walking left to right across the forest. So that was really clear, and it was really good. But yeah, I mean, one day we will catch a Bigfoot, unfortunately, and I think the day that happens is a day that is literally every hunter on the planet will go out looking for them, and probably kill a few people in the meantime accidentally while trying to kill Bigfoots, which would be really sad. I need help with my dreams. Explain what it means. I can write to you private. Yeah, I'll send me, because I'm on I'm sort of using another computer as well to read the messages. So if you can send me a message on any post, I always read every post, and just say it was you, and then I'll add you, so then we can chat privately. Bermuda Triangle, these us clips, as wrote, could Atlantis be the Bermuda Triangle? No, I think the Bermuda Triangle is the same as the Dragon Triangle. I don't know if you're aware of the Dragon Triangle. It's in China. They've literally have cordoned off that area and said no one goes near the Dragon Triangle. Whereas the Bermuda Triangle, people still go there. And the Dragon Triangle is a lot more powerful, and a lot more people go missing there. So with the Bermuda Triangle, there's obviously people saying, oh, it's methane in the water and all these kind of things. But it comes across that apparently there's a pyramid at the bottom of the ocean. Now, whether or not that's true, but if it is, it's correct in the position of all the other pyramids and all the other landmarks, which are all on ley lines, which help create the grid, power grid that I was talking about using the Great Pyramid for. So I think just from logic, from my point, from what I know so far, I think the Bermuda Triangle is just another PowerPoint area where the Earth has a higher frequency, which is why they put it on the pyramids on that ley line. And I think it just probably gets distorted or increased by the water above, which obviously then knocks out. So imagine the Great Pyramid that's got the power now, which has still, as I mentioned earlier, still resonates with some sort of frequencies and generates some sort of power. Imagine putting that underwater and it sort of being magnified maybe by the ocean and causing, problems with the radar and the computer equipment on the ships and on planes, because it's not just ships that go missing, it's also planes. So I don't think that would be Atlantis. There's just nothing else. There's nothing there to connect the two. Sorry. What's your opinion on Muriel Big Lingno's work? I've never heard of that person. I'm sorry. Sorry, I'm just trying to scroll down on my computer here. Talk amongst yourselves while I'm trying to read your messages. Sorry. Someone wrote, Big Chris wrote, I read Atlantis is under Antarctica and was originally next to Antarctica, then went into the ocean. Yeah, I don't, in my opinion, I don't think it is. I think Antarctica is holding a lot more secrets down there than. I mean, it's possible. I mean, there's reports from army whistleblowers saying that there is huge underground, pretty much an underground city there, which is ancient. So yeah, I mean, it could be. Some of the stories is that the power was still on down there, so they could walk up to this sort of door and it would just open for them. So that's why Antarctica's off limits at the moment, because there's things down there that no one, obviously they don't want us to know about. From what I understand, when this all started to break, a lot of the world leaders were taken there, and then from there they were taken up to the moon for whatever reason, and then brought back down. So Antarctica's holding a hell of a lot of secrets at the moment, and I'd love to know more. I mean, Linda Moulton Howe, if you're interested, Linda Moulton Howe is probably the best person to go and find out from, because she gets the whistleblowers go direct to her. So she's really good, and she sniffs out the the false ones to the correct people. In my opinion, I think she's great. Have I watched Graham Hancock's? Justin's asked, have I watched Graham Hancock's stuff? Yes, he's really good. Yeah, don't know him. I've spoke to Nick Pope and a few other people, but I've never actually spoke to Graham. Yeah, he does a lot of good, solid research. Some tiny bits I don't agree with, just tiny bits, but on a whole, he's very good. Yeah. Someone else wrote. Someone's just written about the Bigfoot being the joke. I'm guessing that was the blurry thing. Yeah, they will get one day, and then it won't be blurry, and then. Now, what actually happens? I don't know if you're aware of this, but governments monitor, and they have been for years. And I'll have to spell one particular word out: B-O something B, which can explode. You get where I'm going with that. They listen out for keywords, and Bigfoot is one of those keywords. Sasquatch is another, etc. So if you, for example, was out and you bagged yourself a Bigfoot, and then you don't even have to contact the police, but if you contacted someone, they will find out, and they will go before you even get, before you know what's happening, there'll be people turning up, taking that Bigfoot away if you've killed one. So don't underestimate what the governments are up to, because people say, well, why didn't I see it? Where's the body gone? Blah blah blah, and that's actually the reason. They monitor a lot. I mean, you probably know the whistleblower that had to go in hiding because he was letting out a lot of secrets. I mean, this isn't a new thing, so. It's really different. Someone's just told me to stop apologising. I'm sorry, I won't do it again. Right, so I'm just having to scroll back up here. It's good that everyone's asking questions. I'm trying to be as quick and precise as I can. How do you go live like this? Sorry, I don't. Fact of the matter. Hi there. I'm not sure what you mean. How do you go live like this? I don't know. I've just used a green screen thing and put a picture up there just to tell people that I'm invisible, really, and so they might as well just read something. Uh, so Crazy Spanner. So we will get free energy in the end. I believe this is where we go controversial. The free energy's been out there for a long time, lots and lots. So you can just look it up. Look it up. All the people that have created free energy and then have disappeared. Their research has disappeared, or they're told. There's some guy. There's a particular guy. I can't remember his name. He's on YouTube. Sorry, I've got someone in the background. There's a guy on YouTube that's created free energy. I can't remember his name. I can't believe his videos are still up there. So I don't know whether it's genuine then or not. But regarding the free energy, I think that we've had or the secret people, military people, have had the technology for a very, very long time to have free energy. I don't think we're going to see it until this is where it gets controversial. Until, how do I say this? Until the thing that's playing out right now, where everyone's having to wear masks, etc. Until that comes to a conclusion and there's less people on the planet, sorry to say it all like that, but I don't think I think only then will they start using the technology that they've got right now. With all of us here, they're not gonna help us, and obviously the people that are left will be in the know, but we're not in the know, so I don't think. Yeah, sorry. So I'm just going to move on because you probably guess where I'm going with that one, and I'd have to be careful what I say here. Either Bigfoot can cloak or shift between dimensions. Now there was one story from an eyewitness that saw a Bigfoot and telepathically spoke to the Bigfoot. Not he obviously didn't have the ability to start the conversation, but so. That's not the first time I've heard Bigfoots have telepathic powers, or mind speak as they call it. But this Bigfoot was going towards a shimmering curtain, according to the eyewitness, a shimmering curtain of light. And he was walking towards it, and the guy in his mind sort of said, "Can I go through there? Make of this as you will." And the Bigfoot turns around, well, didn't turn around, but it telepathically said, if you go through there, you won't come back. And then the Bigfoot walked through there and disappeared. So, are they using the portals that I haven't got round to talking about on my videos yet? It's possible. Now, was that a Bigfoot? See, I am of the opinion that the Bigfoots that are stuck on Earth are the ones that came from a prison ship that crashed here many thousands of years ago, and they're pretty much stuck here, and they just carried on doing what they're doing. The other ones that are that help the Greys and other aliens, and the ones that are spacefaring, they probably have the ability to sort of beam up, same as the little Greys do. So that's probably how they can disappear and go through portals and things. But I think the ones that stuck here, there's no way that a Bigfoot will want to be stuck on this planet. I've heard stories that they're here to do research on the planet, but let's be honest, they can do that from afar. They don't need to actually live there and carry deer around and try and hunt deer and throw rocks at people to scare people off. They could do that, and if they are interdimensional, they could just wait until people's gone instead of hiding. The cloaking part, I'm not sure on. I know someone showed the video, but it was so blurry, it was really difficult to. I don't think they can cloak, not the ones that's here anyway. Sorry, I hope that answers your question. Someone's wrote, I kind of thought that Atlantis and the Eye of Marishina, I'm really bad at reading, is one of the same. Yes, I was actually in a special needs class at school, but over the years I've sort of tried to teach myself special stuff like this sort of stuff here. What do you think? Yeah, again with Atlantis, I just don't know. There's enough information. I mean, there's people point to here and point to there, and if you listen to everyone, then you'd be all over the place. There'd be dots on the map, all over the place. So I don't know until there's more information that comes to light. Until someone suddenly says, "Oh, there's a parchment or something from history," not from what people's trying to work out now. Because, like I say, really, it's only Plato that ever mentioned Atlantis. So to try and find where Atlantis is from his writings, I just don't think we can do it until we suddenly find, real more evidence, history evidence. I can't say I know where Atlantis would be. What do you think of the Moors of Britain? Are you referring to sort of like the Yorkshire Moors? I'm not sure, sorry. And then Amanda said, stop saying sorry, which I just realised I just done. I'm British. We're allowed to apologise, even for bashing into people. Sorry, I accidentally went way down there. I will try and get to everyone's questions. Sorry, I'm just trying to read. Good morning. How many alien races you think are here? The last count, I think the government was up to 60 something. The Americans were up to 60 something that's here. Other whistleblowers, now whether or not you believe them, there's a guy on Coast to Coast fairly recently that was that had been into inner Earth and supposedly knows a lot. Now, it slightly worried me. He knew a hell of a lot, even though he wasn't actually working for the military, because he was to do with DNA kind of person, biological person. But Emery, his name was, I think. I don't know. I struggle with him. He knows so much, and he's sitting there talking about it. And there was a video where he was crying about some dead alien that he saw. So I don't know, but he was saying, if you believed him, then he was saying, there's probably hundreds of thousands that are out there, if not more than that. So we can quantify the 60 odd, with names and various things like that, but the thousands, where he said one of them was like a mile tall, this sort of alien. Yeah, who knows? But I just I've listened to the guy Emery a lot, and I just don't know whether he says it very well, but it's just flat Earth opinion. Someone's just wrote, sorry, I'm just reading. Okay, so I've been researching recently. I sort of avoided the flat Earth because I didn't think that people really thought that was real, but they do. So I started to read up on what the firmament was according to the original text. Now, as you remember, everything that the Bibles throughout the years have wrote the way they feel it needed to be written, because obviously they didn't have the translations or the knowledge to write what it really meant. So when you go right back to the I did a video on Jesus, actually, it's on YouTube, where it talks about the first translation of the Bible, and then the actual original translation. If you actually go back to the original source, totally different. So the flat Earth, I'm still working. I believe that the Earth is round, because I can't imagine the Moon, the Sun, Neptune, Venus, and everything else all pointing, if they're all flat, all pointing this way. Why can't they just be a thin edge? We can't see any thin edge. So if they're really out there, it's curious to think that they're all pointing to us as a disc, the flat end of the disc, as opposed to the thin edge of the disc. That would be highly illogical unless someone deliberately put them all like that, in which case what's the point of even putting them there, because we wouldn't have known thousands of years ago what a planet was anyway. So I'm with the fact that everything is round, and it just kind of makes all sense to me. Sorry, and I will go into what one day on one of the videos when I've got more information on the firmament, but I'm coming to a conclusion on what I think it was, just going back to the original translation as opposed to what Bibles and everything else has said it is. Sorry, I'm just moving down there. There's so many people still asleep. Yeah, I can't blame them. My mum, I sort of talk to her every week and try and explain stuff. And the funny thing is, what's really funny is, For years I've been talking to my mum about spirits, this, that, and the other, and aliens. And just the other day she says, "Oh, there's a lot of talk on the news about aliens, isn't there? Maybe they're real." I'm like, so she listens to the news, but me trying to explain to her, and showing her information and everything. So yeah, people, unfortunately, the little box. If the box says it, then they'll believe it. Sorry, I'm just going to go down now. Fact of the matter says he's awake. Well done. Yeah, so Chris Monroe has wrote, there is no money for the 1% in free energy, cures, vehicles, ran off water, etc. Yeah, I mean that's the bottom line, isn't it? And if it's the same going with pharmaceuticals. If we're not ill, they don't make money, and it's the same as computer viruses. And so, yeah, so if there's a need, they'll suppress it, unfortunately, I think. Just reading down again. People, so fact of the matter, replied to someone saying, because we are waking up, this is why they want rid of us. Yeah, you said it there. You said it. User and a lot of numbers. Thing are not always what they seem, always a distraction from the truth, and always in plain sight. Yeah, they do. Yeah. We was talking about on one of the other live broadcasts about crisis actors. If you don't know who they are or what they are, because this is sort of like the truth is in plain sight, Google what crisis actors are, and then go to richplanet.net. He's done some fantastic videos, including the Ariana Grande bombing. Have a watch of his videos. It's quite an eye opener. Sorry, just moving on there. They will take our children. Fact of the matter, wrote. Yeah, I don't want to get in that. That's a top subject for the other guy that normally deals with these sort of subjects. I don't want to get banned. It's Fixit Hamilton has wrote on the Navajo. I'm not American, so I'm guessing it's Navajo reservation. He is seen regularly. The FBI recently confiscated phones of people whose, and I can't see the rest of it, but that sounds really interesting. I always point back to the old FBI, the last season of X-Files, the season 11 or whatever it was. They really put some good stuff in there that's actual genuine. So if you haven't already seen it, go back and watch that. Sorry, I'm just trying to read things that I can actually answer. What do I? Someone's just wrote, what do I think of Graham Hancock theories? Yeah, I mentioned him earlier. This video, just in case you're interested, will be on my YouTube channel probably tomorrow. So if you come in late and you want to know what I've been waffling on about various different subjects from your questions, which is great. Yeah, most of his stuff I agree with. There's a few little things I don't. Yeah, he's no, he does a very, very good job, but there's just a couple of tiny little things that I just think not quite right. But I mean, maybe I'm wrong, maybe he is right, but that's just someone's wrote, Hot Boy Mike's wrote, Ark of the Covenant is a portal gateway. No, from everything in the Bible, and if you go back to the original text, etc. So the Israelites, if you remember, carried the Ark of the Covenant round Jericho, and on the seventh day, I think it was, forgive me if my memory serves me, but on the seventh day they sounded like loud horn and the walls came down on Jericho. So I think that was an amplification device or a weapon of some sort. And basically everyone that had the ark, because it wasn't just them, it passed through different hands throughout the years. Whoever had the ark could win the wars, but only priests could touch it, or high priests could touch it, and they actually had some device on their chest plate that could communicate to God. So I'm thinking some sort of like walkie-talkie type device, but the priest would end up dying with what's described now as what we understand as radiation. So I think it was a power source inside that, and it, I don't know if you watched the videos, but I mentioned that the actual size, the cubits are the size of the Ark of the Covenant, is the actual same size as the King's Chamber, the granite block that's inside there that people say is a sarcophagus, but there was no lid, and it's exactly the same size as that. So if you put that inside there and then power up the pyramid, it kind of makes sense that it was some sort of power device. So I'm just going to move on. What's your opinion on the secret space program? Yeah, been doing it for years, many years. As I mentioned in my videos, the Nazis, I know it sounds really crazy, if you come to it just off the bat, it sounds really stupid, but the Nazis were there first with their secret space program. Admiral Byrd, his diary sort of points to that. The secret space program. I've done a video which I haven't actually put up yet, talking about a YouTube video that I saw probably the first or second year after YouTube came out, and it was a 20-minute video of a training army people watching a guy at the front talking about the TR-3B and space fleets and all this kind of stuff. I wish I downloaded it. Back then I didn't realize really how good YouTube was and stuff, and even how to download off of YouTube back then, but I can't find it since. But I believe that was real. The guy was talking about how the tripod legs come down and how they need a certain platform because of the radiation of the ships, and the guy just went into everything. So yeah, the secret space program's been going for so long, and even if you believe Gary McKinnon, who was the one that hacked into NASA, not NASA, but the military, he pulled out names of space fleets and all sorts of things. So yeah, the secret space program is not so secret, really, in my opinion. I think we all kind of know that it's there. Well, in my opinion, anyway. Fact of the matter has gone back to the Moors question. He's saying Yorkshire Moors. I'm not familiar with. Sorry, I'm just reading this question there. I'm not familiar with that version of that, so I'll pass on that. Sorry. Do you think Atlantis was lost in the Great Flood? No, I think it was probably just from the descriptions and listening to everyone else. I think there was some sort of war between them and another race, and then they fled. And ended up in different places, and one of them was in Egypt, and that's why the Egyptians knew about Atlantis and wrote it down, or whatever they did with it. That Plato's friend, a couple of hundred years later, came along and was told about the story of Atlantis because someone had come from, or people had come from Atlantis. So I think there was a battle between them. Someone's wrote Emery Smith. I saw that episode and watch him all the time. That's Fix It Hamilton. Yeah, what do you think? I mean, he knows a lot and he's talking a lot, and he talks a good talk. He really does. I don't know. I struggle with Emery Smith. I don't know. I'm on the fence because he's I know he's not contracted, and he's probably, but he must still have an NDA, non-disclosure agreement, with whoever he's working for, and he's coming out with, and the thing is, he says he went to the inner earth, and he's explaining how the portal or the Stargate, or whatever you want to call it, that takes him to the inner earth works. You just got to think that the military wouldn't sit there and say, right, well, this is how it works, this is how it does this is how it does that, when he's just a biologist, really. I just think he's got so much more knowledge than they would allow. I don't know. That's just my opinion. Sorry, just trying to go down now. Thank you for all your questions. I hope I'm not boring you. Someone's wrote, "Embrace the flat Earth, my friend." No, I'll carry on doing my research on the firmament side of it, but and then I'll do a video on that. Fitzwired wrote Book of Enoch. Yes. If anyone's not heard of the Book of Enoch, Zachariah Sitchin has wrote many books on it and many videos, and he's where I actually started to get my information to do with the Book of Enoch. Fantastic research. Now I know people say that he could have been a Mason and putting out misinformation, but my argument with that is the writings that he translated are there for anyone to see. It's not like he's hid them away and then coming out with this information. So even if he was a Mason or Illuminati or anyone like that, I think he was letting out good information that, you know, a lot of other people now have backed up. So sorry, I'm just trying to read some more. Can't believe you can't believe space if you believe in the flat Earth. Correct? Yeah, that's what I couldn't work out. I mean, because then if the moon and Mars and Jupiter are outside of this firmament, then they're in something. If they're not outside of the firmament, then they're a lot closer than we think. Which I don't know. I just can't get my head around that. Sorry, I still struggle with the whole dome thing. Fact of the matter wrote, they only leak information they want you to believe. Yes, sometimes they do leak information that they want you to believe. That's why I'll never go with just one source. That's why I question Corey Good and I question that Emery guy, because so far they're the only people I've heard of saying these information. So if I got lots of different independent sources saying the same thing, then I'd look into it a bit more. But while I've only got one person, I just hold that in the back of my thoughts. Jim Barrows has wrote, I have a story to tell but can't right now. Okay, well, send me a message on any of my posts, and then I'll add you as a friend, and then you can chat direct. T Matthew, I love your videos, man. Oh, thank you very much. You got me hooked. I'm glad of that. It really makes me happy to know that people are watching them. What's the secret wall in King Tut's tomb? Yeah, there's a new secret place that they found, but obviously the problem with Egypt, it even goes back to Zahi's time when he was the head of antiquities. If they find something, they find it, they explore it, then they come back and say, we found something. So they would have took whatever out already. So all right, back before that, when the people first found Tut's tomb, that was a different story. But after that, they started to excavate things before we even know about it. So yeah, someone's wrote Project Bluebeam. Yes, have you seen? If anyone's not already seen this, have a look on YouTube for a video called Wow. That's as if it's like a giant wow, in the ocean. Wow. And then write I can't remember, augmented reality. And so it's basically a gym, a sports gym, school gym, and there's loads of people sitting around, and then suddenly this wow comes out of the floor and splashes water everywhere, and that's just basically, it's just a hologram. So the Project Bluebeam story goes, and I've heard about this 20 odd years ago about from someone, but the story goes that there's going to be a false alien invasion using holograms. Now, if you look at that WoW one that I just mentioned, which looks fantastic, you can quite easily see how they've got the technology, and apparently had technology at least 20 years ago to do this. So that's why I kind of think that they're queuing up now, making people think that what's in the sky isn't just drones, it's now UFOs, which is why I think they're doing the whole disclosure movement, even though they're not coming out saying it. But I think they're making people start thinking, okay, that's a real UFO in the sky, because when they if and when they do Project Bluebeam, we will look up and go, oh my god, it's a UFO, instead of, oh my god, it's a drone. And then we will panic, and then we'll say, do whatever you want to us, hide us in whatever locked up camp or whatever it is that they want to do to us, and we'll freely, just as we did with COVID, we'll freely give away everything that we own to them. Crazy Spanner says, really enjoying your posts. Thank you. Someone else had wrote Project Bluebeam. Someone else had wrote Project Bluebeam. So I think I'm up to date on the questions. So, I mean, I can go a little bit more into Project Bluebeam unless someone's got any other questions. Oh, sorry, someone's just wrote, do you think this whole pandemic was a cover-up for something? Now, yeah, I'll have to pass that over to something to think about. So he's probably going to be on tomorrow lunchtime on his channel. So look out for him if you have not already subscribed to him. Me and him do a live chat about this time, noon UK time, and we chat about more conspiracy things on that as opposed to what I can really talk about on my channel. So regarding the COVID and everything like that, we do a great talk, and we try and help people, give him advice, etc., because he's quite knowledgeable on the laws as well. So join us tomorrow if you want. I'll make sure he's on. So something to think about TV. Look for us tomorrow. We'll be on live. We can chat about all that kind of COVID stuff for the whole hour, as we have done many a times before. So I don't want to talk too more on that on my channel. I'm so sorry, because I just don't want it getting banned. But while I've got you, don't forget to look for, if you don't already know, I've done a Our True History Replies, which is basically my backup channel, Our True History Replies. If you look for that, I've already put up some videos where me and Something to Think About chat in the car for about 20 minutes about one particular subject. So one of them was Missing 411, which you may know as David Paulides' titles of people that strangely go missing, not just murdered or anything. Another video that's going to be put up on Our True History Replies is one where we chatted for 20 minutes about ghosts and spirits and stuff. So we sort of narrow down on one subject. So if you're interested, go there. I've probably only got about 8 minutes left, so just remember, you can watch this probably tomorrow. It should be on my YouTube channel, Our True History. If you haven't already if you haven't already joined on there, and it's probably worth joining just in case I get blocked. And also some videos like the Jesus one I've put on YouTube, because I know that it would have offended people on TikTok. It'll probably offend people on YouTube as well. But someone's wrote, Fitzwired's wrote, is this planet being terraformed for something else? I wouldn't have said so. Not unless you think Bill Gates buying up all the farmland. I don't know if you guys have heard of that, but he's buying up all the farmland, and I think that's to do with him not wanting us to eat meat. And there's a whole other story which we can chat about on the other guy's channel, Something to Think About. But I don't think Earth's being terraformed. I can't imagine that happening. Sorry, so just any more questions? I've got another sort of 7 minutes left, and I must say your questions have all been fantastic. Thank you, everybody. It's lovely to see so many people. Even if you're not seeing my face, it's still great to have you all here, because I was frightened that, because I wasn't a pretty young woman saying, what would you do if you had 24 hours with me? I was frightened that I wouldn't get anyone today, but that's great that you've all come on and stayed on. That's fantastic. Thank you. Why doesn't Bill Gates want us to eat real meat? Well, basically he's set up a company that's supplying fake meat, but shall we say, and he's been pushing that for a long time. Him and Melinda were. So you just look at the he doesn't want meat. us to eat real meat, and then he's buying farmland. I don't know. I mean, you just sort of have to connect dots, I guess. Um, Maybe that's where they're going to be creating the fake meat. I don't know. Sorry. Yeah, we'll chat about that one on the other guy's channel as well. I'm a bit hesitant to mention too much on this one regarding that. What's the main aim of chemtrails? Well, there's so many different stories on them. So for those that don't know what chemtrail is, it's a chemical trail as opposed to a condensation trail that an aeroplane produces. A normal aeroplane does produce a condensation trail, which you'll see in the sky as sort of lines. But a chemtrail is normally done by sort of unmarked planes, and they do a certain pattern, like a crisscross pattern, for example. And that chemicals that they've got in there does something. Now, I originally thought it was for sterilization, spraying over the population, and it may still have, but I think there was a few different reasons why they did it. There's some other people have said that it's because there's creatures in our atmosphere, which is actually possible. There's these just on the outer skirts of our atmosphere, but the problem is the aeroplanes are flying lower than where these creatures are, so I don't think it's for that. Another person said that the chemtrails were for to stop aliens from coming here, which obviously I don't believe that because it's ridiculous. But so the chemtrails are something sinister, otherwise it would have probably told us about them. I see now that the thing that's going on with everyone getting some sort of injection, I don't think the sterilization is now from the chemtrails. If they're still doing it, because it may have not worked. The problem with doing sterilization or doing anything to the public with the chemtrails is there's a risk that the people that's doing it will end up catching it. Whereas if you, let's just say I wanted you all to have, a special gift, I would, call you all up and inject you with my special gift. But so that way I could narrow it down to who's got it, because obviously I don't want my friends, wouldn't want my family getting it. But chemtrails, if it is to something negative, then there's a possibility that your friends could pass it on to you. So the people that's doing it haven't got full control unless you sort of you get where I'm going with that, hopefully. So I don't know 100% on chemtrails. There's just so many different stories out there of what they're doing. It's tricky. I mean, it could also be to do with HAARP, which I'll have to go into another video because we'll run out of time now. Restricting sunlight. Yeah, I mean, Bill Gates someone just wrote it could be restricting sunlight and weather modification, which is what I just mentioned about HAARP. Yeah, I mean, Bill Gates is on about, again, Mr. Gates, who seems to be ruling the planet at the moment, blocking out the sunlight so it would help the ozone layer. But yeah, we'll chat about that on the other guy's channel. Anything that's a bit controversial there. Someone's just wrote, "What's the real meaning behind the COVID vaccine?" We'll have to do that tomorrow on the live stream because he knows more and we can chat that. Thank you. So that guide, look for him for tomorrow at about the same time. Something to think about TV, and I'll be with him and we'll go through all of those. I can openly talk about them on his channel, but I'm really careful on what I'm saying here. Those us clips, I love your stream very much. Thank you. Oh, that's very kind of you. See you next day. Yes, it's time for me to go now, so I have to apologise one more time and say thank you everyone for coming. I'm glad you sort of all stayed even though I wasn't on screen. So thank you, and I hope you've had a fun hour. I know I have with you guys. So thank you very much, and this will go on the YouTube channel and you can all watch it if you haven't already seen it. And there's other stuff on the YouTube channel. The drive stuff's on there as well. So I better go now. So thank you everyone. Thank you so much, and I'll hopefully see you again. I'll be on next Monday live again. But in the meantime, I'll be putting up more and more videos. I'll put one up as soon as I get off of here. I'll put a new video up for you. So thank you very much, and I'll talk to you soon. Sad to go, but thank you. Now I've got to try and figure out how to close this live chat now. So I'm probably going to be here for another hour. Right, there's an off button there. Is that what? Thanks, guys. Bye. Bye.